Week after week, the proof is in the pudding. The data is out with respect to the numbers, and we have a considerable market share. That's ET now holding on to 47% viewership compared to our peers soaring ahead. And we would like to thank you, the viewer, for showing faith and continuing to stick with ET now. Well, it certainly is positive. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Market Fatafat. I'm Abhan Dabash. Well, 11,049 on the index. We're sort of ambling through, holding on to that level. You've got the Sensex up about 42 points. It's quiet for the broader end of the market. But remember, this is the show where we get you a lowdown of all the stocks to watch out for and tell you what to keep on your radar. Time to bring on board Soumya, Kunal Botra, as well as Sumit Bagadia and Siddharth Bhamre. Well, let's get started then with the first stock that is in focus today, and that is Biocon, Soumya.
Yes, Aman, a little setback for this company. USFDA has completed the inspection of insulin drug substance manufacturing facility at Bangalore. Well, it has issued 6 observations in its Form 483. Well, this inspection was triggered by a new drug application submitted by company's insulin API customer. The inspection started on 25th Feb and ended on 5th March. So setback little, stock reacting a little, down by over 2%.
All right, that's the take coming in on Biocon. Not a material impact, but yes, the stock is under pressure. Moving on then, let's focus in on some mid-cap IT names, and it's Tata Elxsi that's having a stellar run in trade today. Can it cross the 990 to 1000 mark easily?
So it's a stiff resistance zone, Avan, that this 1000 mark or 1005 range for Tata Elxsi. So it's going to take some bit of more time, maybe consolidate, maybe retrace a bit, further from current levels, and which is where I believe that traders could try and take an opportunity. So the stock retraces back towards 960, 965 levels. I think that could be yet again a good entry point for Tata Elxsi, because that mild retracement could get over and the stock can then head towards a strong breakout of this 1000 mark. So 1000 is a short-term resistance. It's taking resistance on an intraday basis. If the stock comes back to 965 zone, I think it's a good buy.
All right, there you have it, some important levels at which you can look to nibble into the stock. Meantime, it's another Tata Group company, and this is Tata Chemicals. In fact, it's on the brokerage radar today. CIMB has a view on the stock. They've initiated a reduce with the target price at 477. In fact, lots of concerns. They believe that the soda ash prices may fall nearly 15 to 20% over the next 15 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months, they see China soda ash demand remaining sluggish, and how that will be a negative, the slowdown in China, for the demand growth. They also believe that Turkey will exert pressures on European production, and Turkey soda ash will then become the supplier. There you have it. Tata Chemicals, despite that report, holding out just about by 4%. Meantime, Siddharth, let's talk about NHPC. Why is that catching your eye this morning?
Well, that's a top gainer in F&O segment, and we don't talk about NHPC Avan a lot because the stock doesn't have tendency to give this kind of move. So it's worth watching that what exactly is happening in terms of the stock. So more than 25-26% rise in open interest in NHPC, and if this is the price action, we are forced to believe that these are long position. Also, there is a significantly high volumes in cash market. Stock has moved above its 200 DMA, so it's also a price volume breakout for this name. So watch out for NHPC, probably for more upside.
More upside on the cards. That's NHPC at 25. Very smart mover in trade today. Moving right on then, apart from Tata Elxsi, Kunal, it's Infi as well. That's in focus, another IT name. What level would be prudent to enter this stock?
Well, the observations are a bit different, Avan, this time around, because Infosys on the daily charts is forming a bearish head and shoulder pattern. So spread across, I think, the last 2 months from January start somewhere, the stock has formed a bearish head and shoulder pattern. Look at the way the RSI is also shaped up in that process, or in that time process when this bearish head and shoulder pattern is getting formed for Infosys. It indicates that the stock could see some bit of more weakness from current levels as well. Generally, the pattern height of the shoulder for or the height or for the head for the stock price gets replicated on the downside, and which is why I expect 685 could be the next target for Infosys on the short side, and stoppers could be kept at 745.
Right, important levels to monitor. That's Infi for you. Moving right on then, it's Himachal Futuristic. In fact, that stock is in focus. It's received an order worth about 117 crores from the Tata project. This is for fiber cables. The stock in news. Meantime, M&M is well on the radar, and in fact Sumit had a recommendation on this stock. He has a buy on the stock with a stop loss at 650. Watch out for a level of 720. Remember, this stock is in top gear in trade today. 670 is where it's at. Sumit says target 720. Moving right on, then it's JK Cement as well, and Sumit has a buy recommendation on this stock. It's a buy call with a stop loss at 770 and a target price at 840. Meantime, let's talk about Reliance Capital, Soumya.
Well, the company has come out saying that they're planning to reduce their debt by over 10,000 to 12,000 rupees in the next 3 to 4 months. Well, this is an important move. Well, it's also planning to monetize its 43% stake in Reliance Nippon Life Asset Management Company. Well, monetization of Reliance Nippon controlling stake is to be at a significant premium to the market. Apart from this, they're also planning to monetize 49% stake in Reliance General Insurance. Apart from this, the company recently saw CARE downgrading its rating, the stock reacting to all the news flow.
Yes, indeed it is. That's 2% down on Reliance Capital. Moving on then, another mid-cap IT name, and that's NIIT Tech. In fact, the stock holding out by just about 1% today, Siddharth.
Well, yes, and it has potential to move higher. Now, we have seen time and again that mid-cap IT stocks, one after another, have been, giving some breakouts after consolidation. We saw Tata Elxsi doing that. KPIT, Birlasoft, the new name for the KPIT stock, even that gave a breakout after consolidation. And now NIIT Tech, after almost 1.5 months of consolidation, is showing signs of a breakout. Now, it's not just the price action, Avan. If you look at the futures built up, that's quite substantial to cover this stock and a probable candidate for a breakout in mid-cap IT space.
All right, a candidate for a breakout within mid-cap IT, that's NIIT Tech. Moving on from IT, then let's focus in on metals, and it's NMDC at about 108. Kunal, do you see this sort of a range continuing for NMDC? What levels would you map out?
So the stock has given a big breakout on the weekly charts. I think there was a 3-month consolidation which is happening. 95-96 was the breakout point for NMDC. And now I think for the 13th consecutive day, if I'm not wrong, the stock has given a positive close. So it seems to be that maybe on short-term charts it may have entered into some sort of overbought levels. So I believe the strategy over here should be to try and wait for some bit of short-term dips. Maybe a 3 rupee or a 4 rupee dip closer to 105 level would be a good entry point for NMDC yet again, because such kind of trend moves which you see into a stock price are generally a sign of a new trend in the making. So NMDC could be a good buy on dips level strategy, maybe around this 105 mark on spot levels.
All right, there you have it. That's the take coming in on NMDC. Moving right on then, it's ITC that's in focus in trade today. Remember, there was a Morgan Stanley report that was very bullish on the stock yesterday. Today, it's Macquarie. In fact, they maintain an outperform rating with a target price of 376. They see reducing pressure on the cigarette margins. They expect higher efficiency when it comes to distribution and believe that re-rating could happen on the back of higher earnings growth. ITC continues its upward momentum today, another 0.5%. Meantime, there's Relaxo as well, Soumya, that's in the limelight.
The stock is in limelight on back of a bulk deal wherein American Funds Insurance Series bought approximately 8.7 lakh shares at the price of 715 per share. Well, this is the second day when the company is witnessing a block deal. Before this, yesterday itself, SBI Mutual Fund had bought approximately 37.2 lakh shares at the same price, with the sellers being the promoters Mukund Lal Dua and Ramesh Kumar Dua, selling 20 lakh shares each.
All right, move on then, and ONGC, that's another heavyweight in focus, Siddharth.
Well, yes, we saw a fabulous run in ONGC, and not just ONGC, all oil marketing companies also did pretty well in last few trading sessions, as market also bounced 500 points. Now, move from 130 to almost 160 level has been quite, inspiring. But what we are seeing is that around this 158, 160 mark, there lies 200 DMA. And stock is taking resistance around this level. Today, if you see, the correction is backed by strong volumes and we are seeing fresh formation of positions. It would be too premature to say that these are short positions or not. But the way stock is reacting, I think we would give a slight, benefit of doubt that these might be short positions. So keep eye on ONGC. If it fails to move above 158, 160, then we fear that stock might get back into a range.
All right, watch out for ONGC in trade. Quick break. Be back with more. welcome back. This is Market Fatafat. Well, let's keep it with all the stocks that are buzzing away in trade, and there's Arvind from the broader end of the market that is seeing quite a bit of momentum. In fact, a good 4% put on. Kunal, what is your take?
Last week we saw a big price up move on Arvind. Earlier it was struggling to even hold some key support levels, but all of a sudden you see a change of trend in terms of prices. Volumes now are more in are seen more when we see the prices moving up higher, and that's a sign of a complete change in trend for a stock like Arvind, and which is why I believe that the potential is very high that even from a short-term basis you could see the stock scaling up another 10 to 12% over the next couple of weeks. So this could be a good bet. From a near-term view, I have a target of 100 plus, and stop loss could be kept at 84.
Okay, those are important levels to map out. That's Arvind for you, which has seen consolidation and now spiked up. But yes, of course, as Kunal said, last week as well was pretty strong. Moving away from that, it's some of the utility stocks like PowerGrid that are catching the eye of Credit Suisse. In fact, Credit Suisse has come out with their report where they're pretty bullish, not GE Power, PowerGrid actually is the stock that I'm talking about. Credit Suisse has reiterated an outperform on the stock on not just PowerGrid but on NTPC as well. They believe that the outperform is retained on the back of visible long-term earnings growth, and they believe that both these stocks are trading as well at very attractive valuations at the current juncture, and they're looking at valuations of nearly 8 times the FY21 PE. So there you have it. That's both the stocks active in trade. And then there's HPCL. The entire oil marketing basket has been very active today. We spoke to the management as well of HPCL, who's fairly confident of their overall margin trajectory holding out as well as GRMs. But let's understand how one should look at this technically. Sumit Bagadia is now with us. Sumit, you have a buy recommendation on HPCL?
For this time horizon, we have seen that the stock has given a move from the levels of 220 to 25, and now it has come to 250-51 levels. Stock has tuned a DMA at around 254 to 55. Once the stock is able to break 254 to 55 on closing basis, we will see a move till 270 levels. I think those who have taken long positions, they can hold on the existing long positions with a trailing stop losses to place it around 238 levels for the upside target of 265 and 270 in next couple of days.
All right, there you have it. That's the view coming in on HPCL. Meantime, let's focus in on ABB India, and that stock is in focus on the back of the demerger. Let's understand what exactly this means for minority shareholders and what the deal is about, Soumya.
Well, it's a major development here. The company has announced demerger of its PowerGrid business into a distinct company, and they plan to list this company soon. The company, so for one share of ABB Power Products and Systems, for every they'll receive 5 shares of ABB India. Well, this demerger will happen through NCLT approved process, and the shareholding of APPSIL will mirror that of ABB India.
All right, there you have it. That's the latest coming in on ABB India. And remember, this PowerGrid business accounts for nearly 40% of their total revenues. The investors will be weighing both the companies separately. And you've got ABB India, which is valued at about 40 times the CY19 estimated earnings. Away from ABB, let's focus in on another cap goods counter, if you will, and that's L&T, which is really on a strong footing. Analysts across the board, Siddharth, are very bullish on this name. What exactly are your observations today?
Well, I would say they are bullish after quite some time then, because L&T has been underperforming. But ever since this market has started bouncing around, L&T is one stock which is contributing a lot. It doesn't have a weightage comparable to Reliance or HDFCs of the world, but the contribution of L&T has been substantial. Now what we are seeing in this run-up, so this is not a short covering bounce. There were a lot of short positions in L&T which didn't get rollover. And now we are seeing formation of long position. In fact, today there is around 10% rise in open interest, and mind you, for a stock like L&T, a large cap name, 10% is a big rise in open interest. Stock technically has also moved above its 200 DMA decisively, which means that both in cash market and future segment, there are people who are latching up this name. So one should not rule out further upside.
All right, there you have it. That's the latest, which is coming in on L&T. Yes, brokerages for some time have been fairly bullish, and Siddharth as well flagging the stock off 2.5% today. Well, moving on then, it's Ujjivan that Kunal, you have on your radar. Where are you placing your targets and stop loss?
On a strong uptrend, most of these NBFC stroke HFC stocks, they've been doing extremely well in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks of this strong uptrend in the markets and the mid-cap space as well. Ujjivan is no exception to that, and I believe that even from current levels, the stock can see some bit of more upside. So it's a hold, and I would revise the targets on Ujjivan to somewhere close to 350, 355 levels.
Okay, that's the level, revising targets on Ujjivan. On that note then, thanks so much, gentlemen, as well as Soumya, for joining in today on the show. We'll wrap it up right here on Market Fatafat. But stay tuned, we've got markets at noon. Okay, apologies. Before we take that break, let's focus in on some more news and updates, and an ET Now exclusive. Are you looking at HNIs looking to make new tax-free investments? Well, you can do that soon. In fact, there's an angel investor in startups, and the government is looking to start accrediting investors that would be exempt from paying angel tax, even if the investment is above the current threshold of 25 crores. How is this going to work? What is the likelihood of the cutoff for being eligible for not paying the angel tax? Let's take it to Parisha Tyagi. Parisha.
Yes, if a high net worth individual like Mr. Ambani or Mr. Narayan Murthy or someone like Sachin Bansal, who recently invested in Ola, wants to invest in startups, they can now do that. And not just that, they can even get a tax exemption from that, given that they register themselves as accredited investors. This is what the DPIIT is planning to come up with. They may soon introduce a new category of investors for investing into startups. And for them to get this accreditation, there are two simple criteria. Their annual income should be nearly 50 lakhs per year, and their net worth should be higher than 25 crore. Remember, this will be a big this will be a big benefit for startups who so far need to present a proof and who need to be accountable for the credibility of their investors and face a lot of trouble because of this many times. Not just that, so far only listed companies are allowed to invest in startups, but now even the individuals with high net worth will be able to do this. The DPIIT is working on this proposal, and this plan is likely to be announced in the next full budget, and this will be a big news for high net worth individuals and also for startups.
All right, thanks very much, Parisha, for giving us all of those details. So there you have it. If you're an HNI investor looking, you can now be exempt from paying that angel tax. And that's the latest which is coming in. On that note, we'll now wrap it up then on the show. Stay tuned for Markets at Noon.